check it and see now if it's working. I think now I see things moving. So let's see if it works. Single Exposed Network. What up with ya? Come on, Single Exposed. Let me see. Single Exposed Network. Let's see. There it is. Yeah, it's on there. Alright, so Single Exposed Network. Alright, so we live and in action now. Let's see. It's on there. So, alright. So let me do this. So that now that I know. Okay, anyway. Alright, let's get it popping. Hey guys. Listen, Single Exposed Network. What's up with y'all? It's been quite a rap. It's been like, I think the last time we had like this Christmas party / chat with the ladies. And we did that. So we're going to have a part 2 for that in 2 weeks. Brittany, say hi to the people. You texting on your phone. What you doing?
Hey, I'm letting my friends know we live. So
okay.
They can come here.
So listen, like and share. We love Single Exposed Network, man. We love the people that we connected to. We love the network. Oh my God, we love it all. Oh, good evening. Oh, Shalita. Hi, Shalita. How you doing? Good evening. Listen, we're going to be talking about, please like and share, sis. Happy New Year to you, sis. We're going to be talking about control today. Control is he, she controlling your relationship. We're talking about control in situations. We're talking about control and how it may be connected to childhood trauma. So we're going to get into something deep today because we like to do that. We like to expose ourselves, right, Britt? Mm-hmm. Because that's what Single Exposed Network is all about, exposing ourselves so that we may learn and do things differently in life. This is what we want to do. We want to heal. We want to be able to move on. We want to have healthy relationships. And in that, we have found that exposing ourselves, the healing comes. We have known to confess and share our weaknesses so that we may become strong. So that's what we're doing. We not putting up no false images on Single Exposed Network. And that's what it is. So please like and share. Ask people to come and join in on this conversation, on this podcast, so that we can get to the real nitty gritty. But I'm going to converse with my Brittany. Are you attentive to the podcast right now? You
yes.
did all your
I want some of my friends to join because they really know me, and I want y'all to check me because y'all know I be frauding sometimes. So I need some people that really know me to jump on so they can hold me accountable as I'm sharing.
Okay, awesome. So look, I'm Aisha. How you doing? I am the visionary of Single Exposed Network, but I love that. I think we've been doing this for like 2 years, maybe over 2 years now. We first started when COVID first started. We started to chat on Zoom, and then we may have decided to make a podcast, and this is how it all started. And this is my girl, Brittany. Brittany, are you single?
I'm single.
Are you single and dating?
I got issues, y'all. I don't be consistent. I don't be texting back. I be doing too much.
Are you single and looking? Are you single and courting? They be like, are you single in are you single in texting and court?
Yeah, I would say I'm single and courting.
Okay. No, courting is like you in a relationship, I think.
No, courting mean I thought it mean like we on a court, we playing with each other.
No, okay. So it's kind of like, I think single and courting is like, you have this one person, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. Where's Nikki at? I need to tag my people. You have this one person and y'all are courting each other to see if you're gonna get married?
Okay, no. So I'm single and texting when I feel like texting, when I feel like,
So you just got friends.
yeah.
Okay, good. Um, I am single. I have no friends. I have no one. I'm not even texting people. So you doing much better than me. Cause I don't have any options. I don't have anybody that I'm interested in. I can't say if people are really. I don't have nobody. So I'm just single and chilling. I'm single and healing. I'm single on working on myself. I'm single on advancing. I'm single on opening up businesses. I'm single on finishing, some projects I should have finished already and they not finished. That's what my singleness is doing right now. And also I'm a single mom, so that keeps me real busy.
I'm single and like texting you back when I feel like it. I do feel like I want to date, but I don't really think I know how to date because I be like, I guess I'm like hyper focused sometimes, so it's like I might think I'm interested in somebody, but I'm still learning what it means to keep my interest.
Yeah.
So
So, all right, so let's go into this. The topic is control.
man,
So this has been coming up in conversations that I've had outside. Is it work? Is working? And y'all let me know if you guys can't hear or whatever. So this has been happening like in conversations. I don't know how to tag people, but this has been happening in conversations outside of the podcast. I'm sorry, guys. I just want to tag some people real quick. I gotta get my people on here. You feel me? I want to do cat. I want to do Destiny. I want to do one more person is Kalia. Let me hit it with Asia too. Look up somebody. Okay. So, this been coming up in conversations outside of the podcast where we just been talking about control and how it operates, because people think like, you don't really necessarily hear about control unless you're like in this relationship and you're like, oh, this person is controlling me. A lot of times I hear when females say it about men, I don't really hear about men saying that females are controlling. It could be the people that I'm surrounded by, but it works all the same, right? Because a female could be controlling, a man could be controlling. Control is control. It's not, oh, just a man is controlling. It's not like that. So let's talk about it. Brittany, what do you think control is? Like, what is it?
I'm a word person, so I was trying to look up a definition.
Well, go ahead. Look it up now.
My Wi-Fi not working. I said, okay, they don't want me to give them a definition, I guess. So, I mean, to me, see if I can get a definition. Okay, control meaning,
Yeah.
the power to influence or direct people's behavior or the course of events. A group or individual using a standard or of comparison for checking the results of a survey or experiment. Determine the behavior of supervise the running of, take into account. So direct and influence over. I guess, I mean, when I hear the word control, I think of like, is this in relationships or is this in reference to what?
This is in reference to relationships itself. So whatever may come to your mind as far as like when you think about control, period.
Okay.
So whatever may come into your mind.
When I think of control, I think of like having the inability to make the decision that I want to make.
Right.
So this person tells me, it's almost like back in the day, old heads, this for y'all. Do as I say, not as I do, right? Because a lot of times with control, that person is directly impacting my behaviors, but I have no control over their behaviors, right? So do as I say, but not as I do. So I have to do what you want me to do, but I have no influence on what I want you to do. So I would say it makes me feel like no reciprocity, and also like no personal autonomy. So I was learning about, somebody asked me what is autonomy, and I grew up in a mesh family. So guys, I'm a therapist, so go with me. I'm gonna make these very clear terms. A meshman is like close knit. Can't everybody do the same thing?
Yeah.
Everybody bring the same thing to Thanksgiving. If you make something different, you out of order, because we're not used to trying new things, right? So that's like what it needs to be, a mesh, close knit, everybody rowing the boat the same way, right?
Yeah.
So, autonomy is like your ability to make decisions on your own. So like you leave and do something different. Everybody say we going out to eat, you say, hey, you know what, today I'm tired, I'm not going with y'all. But the person that's in control and usually leading is saying, hey, no, we're all going out to eat and you must come, right?
Yeah.
So when I think of control, I think no room for me to figure out me. I'm doing it because you're telling me to do it, and there's usually consequences when I don't do it.
Right. So there's usually consequences when you don't do it. I love what you shared. So it's kind of like, okay, so you and your family, everybody has to do the same thing, kind of mesh together, do what we're doing, and you cannot do what you want. So control. So one thing I know about control now, that's like the perspective of the person that's receiving the control.
Yeah.
Right? And then there's the other side.
Yeah.
Right? The person that is actually doing the controlling.
Yeah.
So there's two sides. Your side is like, okay, I know what that control feels like because I want to do something else.
Yeah.
And then there's the other side where it's like I'm the person that is controlling. So since she spoke from her being the person that's receiving the control, I'm going to speak from me being the controlling person. Because I feel like in my relationships, like I battled with control so bad. Not only being controlled, but also being such a controlling person. Like I wanted things my way all the time. Like it had to be either my way or hit the highway. And that had to do with every relationship. So that's why we're kind of talking about it and putting it right now in a generalized form to get the details out of it, to kind of break it down so you can see how it looks on both sides, right? Because the truth of the matter is control hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts. Like, I don't want nobody controlling me and I don't want to be controlled, right? But how do you even know, like, if you're being controlled or not? So a lot of times people would be like, oh, I just do whatever the majority does because I don't really know what else to do. So I just do that. And that's fine. You go and roll with the control. But then you don't really see how it's hurting you to just always roll with the punches and do what everybody else does, right? You don't really see how that's hurting you, right? But it hurts. You feel some type of way. You begrudgingly do it. It doesn't really bring you much joy. And maybe you wanted to do something else. So I was the type of person where I would control a situation where it was kind of like, oh, well, if you don't want to do what I want to do, then forget you. Or I would have a certain pain that would be inside of me saying, hey, since this person doesn't want to do it, then this person is not worthy of my life. This person is not worthy of my time. This person is not worthy of me, period. Like, I want to do what I want to do, and it's a very strong and aggressive type of feeling. So what do you think about now in the aspects of control? Where do you think that kind of like stems from?
I think it's a protective mechanism. Some people call them defense mechanisms. Some people call them strongholds. It depends. It depends where you are. But I feel like what I've learned about control is I can um, protect myself from. I can control, but if you will, I can dictate the outcome
Yeah.
of the situation. So I think it comes from like a dictatorship. Maybe if you grew up with militant parents and just I think it comes from our upbringing, right?
Yeah.
I used to teach like family. I remember I spoke at this family thing and I said we repeat what we don't repair because as a child, my first example is those that I see around me.
Yeah.
So like I'm a sponge. I'm looking to learn from any and everybody.
Right.
Today I had some pop rocks and my mom's always trying to buy my little cousin candy. Knowing all our teeth messed up, she wanted to get us candy. So I go in the store. I'm like, get him some pop rocks. If you gonna get him something exciting. Like, so I got him the pop rocks and I just like said, put them in your mouth and open it. And like as a kid, you're so impressionable. Of like, maybe then, he'll do it with somebody else. And now I walk by again, he like, right? Because he's just repeating what he just saw done.
Right.
So I feel like control stems from, how you grew up, what were your experiences like as a child, and then that becomes your worldview.
Yes.
So we live our life from that perspective. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I know my parents are controlling today. I didn't know they were controlling because I didn't listen. You know what I'm saying? So I would say I've always been someone that controlled their own destiny. And that may now be in a category of control because I was so resistant to feeling like somebody telling me what to do, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it all comes down to tone. Language is important, but really control is just like saying my way or the highway.
Yeah.
And some of us need that. However, I think, how does this person learn and where it doesn't feel like control?
Yeah.
And how do I realize when I am, and I thank you for pointing that out because I only gave one perspective. The other perspective is like, how do you know you're controlling? You
Yeah.
know? And where does it start at and what does it look like?
Yeah.
And then once you identify it, what do you do with that?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it's like, a lot of times, like, I feel like I'm learning, like Dr. Henry Cloud said, like when we rescue others, we render that they're not responsible for saving themselves. So I think of my role as a therapist and how I would like always save people. And then I realized like I'm not even giving that person a chance to be responsible for themselves. So that is being controlling in my relationships because I'm trying to determine the outcome for that person.
My
Just
goodness.
because I see it, just because I might have a piece of the puzzle that they
Piece
need.
of the puzzle.
That doesn't mean it's my time to give them the piece of the puzzle that they need.
Right. Right.
So I just feel like control is like you want to dictate the outcome.
Yeah.
And when we try to dictate outcomes, sometimes they're good, and sometimes they're bad. But a life of control, I would say at least to Shane, very, very negative thoughts. I mean, the thoughts are so intrusive. They're not from God. I mean, my thoughts be beating me up so bad. Sometimes I'll be like, this, because I'm the same person.
Yeah.
So sometimes you be like, I can do this, I will do this, and in the same breath, the next three thoughts be like, man, you ain't gonna do it, you just might as well give up. Now you be like, well, what is that? Well, that may be me trying to take control of the wrong thing and not control of the right thing. Because we know it's like a battlefield of the mind.
Yeah. It's a battlefield.
So, like, what I had to realize is, like, you
You can't control the outcome.
can't control the outcome.
You can't control the outcome.
Yeah.
So the thing about it is, so we have this thing in our minds when it comes to control, right? Because I love, like, we're praying this like, oh, I receive the control, then I'm the controlling person. So you plan this as a controlling person. You're playing this thing in your mind as though you can change the outcome of a person. You can change the outcome of the situation. You can change, and therefore changing everything, right? A lot of times control and manipulation just work together, right?
Yeah.
It may work together so that it can have what it wants. Like sometimes it's like, okay, well, I want what I want, but it's not going to say it like that. Like not everybody, when you're acting out in your control, or I'm controlling you, I'm not going to just say, listen, you going to do what I say, period. That's not how it's going to come. So it's going to come, it could come very passive aggressive. It could come very smooth. It could come like, hey, I wanted to go here and you just decided to take me anywhere you wanted to take me. But I asked to go to a certain place. You know what I'm saying? But you don't even take the time out to acknowledge. You don't even hear or see that, hey, I didn't never want to go to that place and you just took it upon yourself to take me there.
Yeah.
Control is very, I'm not asking you, and your opinion doesn't matter. Control is your feelings don't matter. Yeah. I'm going to do what I want anyway.
Yeah.
Control is like, hey, let me swerve you in to a feeling, have you feeling like I'm feeling, and then I get what I want at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
At the end of the day, the end result is, I'm happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm happy. But then you have the person on the other side who's not.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like I learned about like perspective thinking, and like a long time ago I've learned this, but it's not something I like naturally do. Like, do you have the emotional capacity to handle this? Like that almost surrenders control when you ask somebody that. Because it's like I might want to come to you, pour out my whole, I might pour so much out. I might want to pour, like this is just like a relational thing, even in relationships. Like I think like picking when to argue. Like if I'm in a relationship, when do I want to have this fight? Is it because I feel this way, right? We know feelings serve as indicators.
Yeah.
But they're not dictators. It shouldn't dictate. You ever be so mad you just stay home all day?
Yeah.
That means something was out of your control and you don't know how to deal with it. So your way of dealing with it, you protect yourself, what I talked about protection, and stay away from the things that have a chance to, we might call them fiery darts, right? It's those things that may really have a chance to hurt you. Like, you know what, I'm going to just protect myself from these things. And, I feel like yesterday, because y'all don't hang with me. Cause
you're funny. Look that way.
Oh, okay. I'll talk to you right. You might give me a message. Don't hang with me. So yesterday, my grandma's birthday was Thursday, and we celebrated and we went skating as a family.
Yeah.
And my nephew had to take his permit test. After he took his permit test, I told my friend, we gonna go to Crafty Crabs. Like, we gonna go get something to eat. My college roommate, I said, let's hang out, 1:30. Well, my friend is structural and on time and punctual. She was there.
Yeah. And
I was cleaning and preparing for this party. But I think what was different was, she's my roommate. She's been dealing with me forever. She know her friend ain't right and never on time. And I said to her, hey, I checked in with her. Hey, is this okay that I do this? And I realized not because, even if God is showing her something and showing me something, what matters is I get the victory over trying to control somebody's day and their outcome. Yeah. So then the day goes on now. It went from 1 to 6. She still ain't eat. I'm frying fish. I'm making grits, french fries. Now the whole family. But everything happened. It was like kids came in to my house. So it was like all these things happened. We go skating. Everybody leave. Skating was from 7 to 10. We were supposed to do vision boards as a family. And this is why I'm like, thank you, because I would have been upset. We were supposed to go vision board. I was supposed to go out to eat. Then we were supposed to go skating from 3 to 6 and do vision boards right after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my family came when they wanted, did what they wanted, and I just had to sit in it and just go and just change. And my plans,
Yeah.
not that they didn't matter, but I just went with the flow.
Yeah.
And then, I eventually, everybody like, oh, we waiting on you. And I was like, well, Houseway, the one that had to cook, clean, serve, now I got a shower. Y'all waiting on me. But I'm just learning, like, okay, I'm tired. Now it's time to get on the. I wanted to be new, y'all. I really did. But what happened was, I was tired. But the kids, they going in, and so we eventually go. So we get there. The kids fraud telling me we only got till 9. They like, yo, we paying $17 till 9 o'clock. We ain't trying to go skating. Well, we really had till 10. So I get there. Why when I get to skating, I pay the money and I lose my debit card. I was triggered. I'm going to talk about that later. Make a long story short, after we leave the skating rink, now they waiting on me because I'm out here doing evangelism. Y'all got to help me. I'm out here, little Bubba. It was one guy, his name was Benny. That boy looked 7. He was only 2. So I was like, but Benny, I got to win Benny a ball because Benny was giving his parents a hard time. My brother come over, it's like, you know them? Because it looks like you're trying to tell them how to parent their kid. And I was cracking up because we act the same. So I don't know why my bro be doing that. So I was like, no, Quill, I'm just, I'm doing my outreach ministry. And so I end up giving them a ball. Everybody in the car, they manifesting. Like, you always, every time. Like, we can't go nowhere and be regular. And I'm like, I'm not regular. So I go. And we go across the bridge and, everybody want to go a different place. See, the one thing about control, whether you controlling or not controlling, you'll never know because everybody want what they want when they want. We all just selfish people. So I realized yesterday that everybody was practicing a level of selfishness, but they could not understand because nobody removed the plank out of their own eye. I was just like, what type of, okay, you just got to really love and get the victory over yourself because people will create this picture of you, create this narrative of you, and it's really we're all living from the worldview that we have.
Yes.
So anything outside of that makes me look bad and you look good. Well, maybe that's what you need to tell yourself, but I'm working on personal integrity and accountability. So I just keep apologizing, but because I'm under a different law today and I'm not living for the world, I'm just like, no, if God wants me to speak and win Benny a ball because now the thing broken is free, let me go get my young bull a ball and take it to him. The family was happy. I tricked them. They could the skating ring was closed and Benny would not leave. So I had to get Benny in the I had to get him out. You know what I'm saying? So he put on his
Benny
coat.
out.
So make it, but now I'm not done, y'all, because I'm working. I'm like, because I don't know whenever God called me to do something, I just be like, this really your life. You really have to live a life where even if you plan your day, you're okay with God, like, taking you on a detour. And it took me a long time to, like, be able to hear where God wants me to go or do what it is that God wants me to do because I struggle with control. So now it's late. And we go to Wawa, and we're at Wawa near my house, and I see someone that I know, and I'm like, why is he? And he looks like he's going through something, like he's having an episode, like some like type of paranoid episode. But he talking crazy, like he gonna hurt somebody. So I'm worried, and I'm like, well, guys. Now I got 5 girls in the car, and she say, somebody's like, yo, my cousin in there, my cousin Moses is in there. So I'm going in there. I'm going in there to see you, and the kid's so mad. She's like, why you always gotta say hi? I said, this is my friend. Like, I'm allowed to talk. But the kids, like, one thing I realized about, like, they was like, because you just be saying stuff and you don't be knowing. And one thing about teenage girls, they gonna check you. Now, it's not gonna be easy to hear, but they got a lot to say, and I love them because they helping me understand what not to say. So I love looking at a mirror of myself. And so I realized this time now I'm thinking, I got 5 girls in the car. There's no way I can talk to this man and with these kids in the car. So let me take these kids home. So I ended up taking the kids home. And I said I'll be back. Well, now the kids say, well, can you take me somewhere? Okay. So now it's not about what I want to do again. So I take the kids, they go get their clothes, and finally we're back. And I go see the guy. And now, one thing about like surrendering your will to God's will, it'd be like, what you want me to do? Now, I already told you I lost my debit card. I got trauma. So now I'm like, you want me to go talk to this person? I am trained to deal with things. But I'm like, okay, well, what do I say? He was saying some things that were concerning. He felt like, people were out to get him. But it comes to find out he got into a car accident at the age of 5. And he said, I went through traumatic brain injury. And I'm sitting there like, like when we judge somebody, like, and I think even control determines how we look at people. So we can see a person on the street, or we can see a person not doing well, and control will make us judge that person based on what we hold a person to be, so. But I've seen this guy in other seasons, and he was always respectable of my family, and he always would talk to me in love and light. But this time I seen like he was going through something. So now I'm like, dang, God, gas, I don't got a lot of gas. I'm at Wawa. I'm like, now my problem solving skills kind of got to kick in. I'm like, God, what do you want me to do? Like, I'm trying to pay. So I actually ended up like booking a hotel. Make a long story short, I get to the hotel, they say I ain't booked it. But before I take them to the hotel, now I'll take them to my house, and I just feed them. You know what I mean? I'm like, I come in now, I'm mad. I had a controlling episode because I had fish in the fryer. And they say, my uncle said, your brother took all the fish in the car. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Like, why you take my food? And I was like, man, you know what? I heard the voice of control. I said, it's just food. I said, I just, I left it in the fryer because I didn't know. I just left something there. Because, when you got a family that like to eat, you got to kind of hide the food. So, I came and I said, well, I want to make them something to eat. I ended up making them some chicken and rice, and I had some corn left over. I packed them a little lunch. You should have seen me. I looked like Susie the homemaker. I packed them all this food. And I planned to take them to the shelter. I meant to the hotel. I got to the hotel. The guy said, we don't take purchases online. And I said, well, who was I talking to? Because he was told me that I was gonna have to that this was paid for. And at the time, I didn't like really know who to call or what to do. So then I'm like, God, like, I got 4 girls in the house. I got men in the house, but I started thinking, like, how would I want somebody to treat my family, Yeah. And I'm like, I could put them in a car. I could get them a blanket. But I don't want to, like, hurt somebody and help somebody at the same time. Mm-hmm. So I'm, like, really asking God to, like, help me with this. And then, make a long story short, we had to come back to the house. And my uncle like, yo, why you ain't just ask me? I had the money. I'm like, I'm burnt. Now I'm tired. It's like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I got a wall in my room. He had to sleep on the other side of my wall. I don't know what else to do. I said, if I'm going to put anybody at risk, like, I'm scared to put them in the basement. You know what I'm saying? My little cousin, everybody else, they not asleep, but my uncle downstairs. So, we know him. So I ended up just like, cleaning the tub, letting him take a shower. And then, I guess I said, listen, you get one more cigarette and you can't leave this room. Because I got a whole bunch of people in here that's going to be worried. Because they seen him at Wawa in his state. So I'm like, man, God, you got to help me. So I just like, I ended up, whatever happened. And my uncle comes in. He said, Britt. He just smiled at me. He said, they went out and smoked a cigarette. He said, yo, this man said you just made him throw away all his drugs. I said, what? He said, yeah, he just threw away all his drugs. He said, who you think you is? He said, maybe this really is your ministry. And he smiled. But it was a smile of like, basically, you are who you say you are. Like, it doesn't matter what people have wronged people. Like, there are people that you can look to for hope that doesn't care what it looks like and what it matters like. If somebody needs you, you'll be there for them. You know, that's what my uncle said. And then, you know, we woke up. I may have wanted to be at my regular church. And I wasn't in control of that. I woke up at 10 because I was up till 4 o'clock with one eye open, praying that everybody's safe. And finally got this guy to sleep. I had clothes in my basement, you know, everything. You know, I just was like, so now we going to church. And I'm thinking like, all right, I'm going to go to my regular church. My nephew come in, he like, hey. He's saying all this stuff he's saying, and he like, hey. I said, you want to take a shower? He said, yeah. So now I got to clean out the tub, do all this stuff. And now my mom's like, hey, can you take me to Norton? Your nephew is on the praise and worship team. I'm like, what? Okay. So I'm just like surrendering what I want to do today. Surrendering my plan. My plan was to come here and then do the podcast, and I end up, so I'm getting dressed, and now I'm like, okay, now I gotta take my clothes out the room, go to my mom to get dressed, and I'm just okay with it. And then I hear my mom say, your uncle coming to church too. And I said, last night, one thing my uncle said is, he said, he may want to come to church. He said, y'all really want to come to church? And he said, then in the same breath, he's like, nah, I don't really want to go to church. But that was the conversation we had last night. So to hear that he was coming to church this morning, it was like if I was in control trying to get here, well, here is not wheelchair accessible. You know, so I was like, no. So then I'm like, all right, well, I can't, the clothes that I had for the guy in the bag was more, they weren't church, you know, weren't appropriate. So I was like, I went in the basement. So now it's like 11. We ended up getting to church around 11:30. I got him some clothes for church. You know, that man felt like a new man in that garment. He felt so clean in that when he went to church.
Yeah.
And they both was like, yo, you know the last time we went to church? And it was just a sweet, it was like, if you control it and you want things to go your way, where does God have room to be God, you know? And it took me a while to realize that, like, I want people to get the victory. I want people to become who I think they could be. I want this nigga to date me because I think we're fit for each other. But at the end of the day, like, if God opens doors that no man can shut and he closes doors no man can open, why don't I just trust where he's taking me? And, you know, I was grateful for that. You know, even before I came here, I'm like, well, I called the advocates for homeless in need and the homeless hotline and did all of that. But for my grandma's birthday, I just keep realizing, like, she was the same type of person. My grandma's house was like Big Mama's house. She had a place for everybody. Everybody used to judge her. She had 21 brothers and sisters, and everybody would judge her. Why are you always letting your siblings live with you? Why are you always doing this? But what if that's the one thing they need for tonight to be better for tomorrow? You know, and the Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow has enough troubles of its own. But it's like, you know, I realized in the selfishness that was taking place around me and my own selfishness throughout the day. My college roommate loved skating. So she was like, man, she like, I ain't going skating. I said, I'm in the back, like she an Uber driver. She been driving this all our life since college. I said, Quan, but she got skates. Now you know somebody really loves skating when they got skates. And yeah. She ended up. Now I would say it was probably a little, you know, a little manipulation in there. I got her to come in and go skating. We both said we wasn't going to skate. I turned around. I heard my brother and my sister had my mom on skates. Now my mom ain't make it far. She said. But my friend ended up skating and we ended up skating. It was a really good time of, like, just my whole day. I really felt full. Yeah. My heart was full to just serve my family, not in control, but in compassion of just like, all of these things are coming at me. Yeah. I may not be able to make everybody happy, but what is God asking me to do? And shouldn't that be the most important thing that I do?
Yeah. So a lot of times, like, thank you for sharing that. You know, a lot of times when we are, you know, when we have a relationship with God, you know, most of the time, God is not going to ask you to do something you want to do,
Yeah.
right? Because then, like you said, like, how can He be in control? So a lot of times when you are controlling the situation, even if it's a good thing, right? Even if you think you're doing a good thing, because once again, it's your perspective. So I could be thinking I'm doing such this marvelous thing, right? And then just like if I'm in a relationship, right? Say I'm in a relationship with a guy. So a lot of times females that are like with me. So I dated this guy back in the day. And of course, I may have had a child by him, but he was very controlling. So his controlling exceeded my control, right? Because I kind of had this control where I wanted to control my life to end it up somewhere. So I had this whole plan about how I was going to go to school, right? I used to brag about having my own place at a young age. And then, you know, I wasn't going to do what God told me to do, basically, right? But then I dated this guy, and his control exceeded my control. I just want to see how many minutes we have. His control exceeded my control, where he had control on a whole nother level, right? So he kind of had that same control where it was like, oh, well, I want my life to end up a certain way by any means necessary, right? I'm willing to do whatever I want to do and manipulate whoever I want to be. I want to manipulate, and I allowed it. So because his control was so bigger, so broader, then I became that lesser person.
Wow.
So whatever he wanted to do, we did. Right? He would give me like those now I didn't know that at that time. Yeah. So I'm speaking from a place of now I can see it, right? But when I'm inside of it, I can't see anything.
Yeah.
I can't see that, you know, I'm being controlled by this person. I can feel the hurt of it, but I can't see what is actually happening.
Yeah.
And then I can see the behavior of it, but I don't know, like, I didn't really know that it was such a horrible thing, because I had this perception that eventually he would change. Eventually he would revolve.
Yeah.
That also has to do with friendships as well. We could be in a friendship with a controlling person, and then, you know, it's the same exchange. We always got to do what you want to do. You make the whole meal plan. You decide where we're going to go. Then you get frustrated. Now you mad. Everybody else is in the car. They're fine. They're trying to get you to compromise. You don't want to compromise. Yeah. Because the solution in the midst of control is being compromised.
Yeah.
Making a compromise. Because it's like, I shouldn't have my way all the time.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't have your way all the time, but we should meet in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, when do that take place? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Do you know when it's supposed to take place? Right? Because some people are like, oh, well, he's not controlling me. I just don't know what else to do or think, or, you know, I didn't really have nowhere else I wanted to go, so I let him pick the place. Okay. Well, how many times does that happen after but so many times? So someone asked me a question the other day, or maybe I asked them, and I asked them about a guy, and what they were looking for. And I was also having a conversation with myself. It was like one of those, I don't know what they call it, but double message. I think I call it double message, where you're saying something out of your mouth, but you're getting a message for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because before, I don't want somebody I can control. So I'm not looking for you to say, yes, ma'am, okay, let's do it. I ask you where we gonna go. You don't know, right? You just letting me have my way.
Yeah.
I'm not looking for that person.
Yeah.
That's not somebody I want to date, because I don't want to always get my way. I'm actually not attracted to that.
Yeah.
I want like a man's man, right? Yeah. So, but I don't want somebody that controls me. So you never let me get my way. You always got an attitude. You frustrated when things don't go right.
Wow.
Don't go your way. I don't want that person.
Yep.
It's like, oh, well, I want to, oh, what I think, or it could be the simplest thing. Hey, we need to pay bills. All right, so what bill you want to pay? Well, this is the way we're going to pay it. There's no compromise. Like, it's no type of, oh, well, maybe we can figure out to do this and that first, and then we'll come back and do this. Like, it's no planning. It's no conversation. It's always your way. I don't want that person.
Yeah.
So what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? You're looking for somebody to be in the middle.
Yeah.
You're looking for somebody to have balance where, you know, they can stand up to you and say, hey, like, listen, all right, you need to chill. Like, this is what's going on because of this.
Yeah.
And then you also may be looking for somebody that, you know, that is like, hey, they lead in the way.
Yeah.
Right? They ask you, or you can ask them, and then they lead the way. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for more so a guy that will also lead the way.
Yeah.
Right? But not a guy that I can walk all over.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you also want to be that person.
Yeah.
You also want to be that person. You don't want to be a person where you're constantly doing what everybody else doing.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of like, well, I saw the goodness out of that.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, well, of course you saw the goodness. Everybody's pleased except for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's happy, but you never considered your own self
Yeah.
in the midst of that. So you go along pleasing everybody, which makes you now a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Now you're the one that's affected
Yeah.
by everybody having their own way.
Yeah.
Now, this is the same way that God works,
Yeah.
right? He said, I'm not going to control you,
Yeah.
right? I'm not going to force you to do nothing.
Yeah.
It's by you choosing
Yeah.
if you're going to serve me or not.
Yeah.
And then it's times where in a relationship with God, God lets you have your way. Then sometimes he switch it up on you and you can't have your way.
Yeah.
You know those situations where it's like, why am I lost? I know where how to go. I made the wrong left.
Yeah.
That I used to get so upset when I would get lost. Like it would literally frustrate me. I remember, I think in the summertime, I may have gotten lost for like 2 hours and I didn't know why. I was coming from church and I know my way. Like I was going to the sister's house down in Salem,
Wow.
right? I knew how to get there. 295, boom, 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 boom. Like
Wow.
I basically only had to turn one time. Like it's like a straight run highway.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. I listened to the GPS for 1 second
Yeah.
and ended up lost for 2 hours. I was taking deep breaths. I was like, wait, why am I lost? Like, what's happening right now?
Yeah.
Because there was a testing in that. It was that simple.
Yeah.
I didn't have to go, I didn't have to do nothing crazy. In that situation, God used that to
Wow.
say, hey, sometimes you're not going to know where you're going, and it's okay. Are you still going to get frustrated?
Wow.
Are you still going to react that way? Right? So, going back to being the person that's in the middle. So you want to also be the person that's in the middle. And you also want to demonstrate that in your life. You don't want to be a person that do what everybody say. You don't want to be a person that you can't make stuff up in your mind of what you want to do and then go with that. You don't want to be a person that says, no, I don't want to do that. I'm actually going to do this. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that. You want to, because it's like you do want to be that. You want to be a compromising person.
Yeah.
Right? So some days you're like, oh, okay, yeah, let's do it. And then in the days like, no, I need a day of rest. Thank you.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we have to do this. But you can't say no because you think you always got to go with this way, which, it could be a perception of going with the flow. But how is that going with the flow when you don't have nothing in you
Yeah.
and you need to sleep?
Yeah.
So that's not going with the flow. The flow would be, hey, I'm tired. My body is telling me I'm tired.
Yeah.
And today is the day of resting.
Yeah.
Come on, y'all. Come with the questions now. So then, how does it work the other side? Okay, well, sometimes I'm going to let people have their way. Oh, okay, you want me to, this, that. And then it's going to be days that I'm going to take a stand.
Yeah.
Because you want to be in the middle.
Yeah.
You want to be in the middle. Now, if you take a stand all the time, then they're going to be like, yo, you always want to get your way. You never compromise.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So if you're a person that you really don't compromise, you're not listening. You know, a lot of times you want to listen to other people's feelings. A lot of times you want to listen to what people are asking you to do and take inventory on that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, it doesn't always have to benefit you, but it shouldn't be in a place where a person should actually put you in this, you know, crazy, dangerous situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, no, I'm not about to take you all the way. You know, people ask crazy stuff for you to do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
And you'll be looking at like, okay, should I do that? Well, think about it.
Yeah.
Because a purpose, when you're driving in purpose, it's not all about everybody.
Yeah.
You're going to get tests and trials. The enemy is near. So you think everything is God and nothing is the enemy?
Yeah.
So the enemy is near. So you got to take the inventory to say, hey, is this safe? Is this, it's like being in an abusive relationship.
Yeah.
Now you can say, oh, I'm with this person,
Yeah.
right? Now, this person beats on you.
Yeah.
But you're like, but this is God's child. You could always look at it like, oh, this is God's child. And I don't know, like, if I put him out, I was with an abusive person. I felt like he like, oh, if you put me out, I'm not going to have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
But you whooping my butt.
Yeah.
You're manipulating me.
Yeah.
But then, oh, I'm not going to have nowhere to go. I'm going to be homeless. I don't know where I'm going to be, on the bench. Oh, well. So in those situations, you see how you have to take the inventory to say, well, these things are things that get people killed.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're like, well, why didn't you say something sooner?
Yeah.
Oh, because he wouldn't have had nowhere to go.
Wow.
And I feel like God wouldn't want me to put him out on the street.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
So it's taking the time out to say, okay, which one is right?
Yeah.
Which one is right? So you want to kind of be a person that takes a stand, because not every situation is, I got to save you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sometimes, things are happening and God is listen, we got the same God. The God that I got is also the God over your life.
Yeah.
So, hey, I'm not trying to control God's outcome for you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. So a lot of times I had a problem because I wanted to control God's outcome for me.
Yeah.
So I struggled with that because I didn't really want to do my purpose, and I really wanted to pick my own men. Like, I wanted to pick the men I wanted to be with.
Yeah.
Right? This is all around control. I want to pick the men I want to be with. Then I want to pick how the relationship go.
Yeah.
Right? Then I want to pick, whether I'm available or whatever. I want to pick everything. I want to pick it all.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it don't go like that. I got to be compromising even in my own life.
Yeah.
A lot of times, when we grow up, like, I like how you mentioned picking the food, right? So a lot of times, so I'm the type of person where I ask my kids what they want to eat. I do it on purpose. Because I used to be the mom that would just go in the kitchen and cook what we got.
Yeah.
So for an example, last night, the kids wanted chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
So sis ain't had chicken and waffles at home. You know what I'm saying? So I go up. Now this is where the manipulation kick in.
Yeah.
Cause I made up in my mind, if I go and get chicken and waffles, I'm getting chicken that's already made from ShopRite.
Yeah.
You feel me? I'm gonna put it in the air fryer and make it real crispy. I saw it. I envisioned it.
Yeah.
You hear what I'm saying? I had the picture in my mind.
Yeah.
Okay? This is the imagination.
Yeah.
Now, some people could say, hey, I saw it like this and God gave me that vision.
Yeah.
So I'm not one of those people.
Yeah.
Because I'm going and I'm learning God in the way that he works in my life. Now, I said, won't you just, because I couldn't decide, I said, if I cook the chicken, it's going to taste good. If I buy the chicken for ShopRite, maybe it might taste good. But if I air fry it real good, it might hit the spot. Maybe, right? So, but I went through the battle.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I know how to kill this. I'm not going to be that controlling mom. cook what I want, decide what I want. I'm going to go upstairs and ask the kids. I go upstairs. I say, listen, kids, I know y'all say y'all want chicken and waffles. Do y'all want mommy to buy the ShopRite chicken and I put it in the air fryer? You know, I'm giving them the whole scene that I saw in my mind.
Yeah.
I said, mommy could put it in the air fryer. Mommy could make it real crispy, you know. I saw it.
Yeah.
I said, oh, mommy could cook it. Mommy could cook it. Now, why I put all this detail into the ShopRite one. I said, I could put it in the air fryer, make it crispy. But then I say about my chicken, or mommy could cook the chicken. I put no type of energy in that.
Yeah.
You feel me? Because I wanted to sway it this way.
Yeah.
Come on now. You trying to convince old boy, we could go here where it's like this. That's why it take you so long to pick somewhere to eat. Come on, stop the foolery and stop trying to be controlling. He want to go where he want to go. Go with the man and let him lead. So I say to my kids, which one? They say, we want you to cook it, Mom. I said, Now, look, I felt a little attitude coming up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little tootie was trying to come up and be like, but I don't want to because I'm tired.
Yeah.
Right? But I asked.
Yeah.
So a controlling person will go to ShopRite.
Yeah.
Get the ShopRite chicken.
Yeah.
Make up a whole lie. You know, mommy was thinking, you know, I couldn't carry all that. I had even forgot the shop bags.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I forgot the oil. You was in there. You ain't forget that oil. You went in there with a purpose to already get the ShopRite chicken. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I say, and we about to close soon because we hitting 2 minutes, 58 minutes. So I say, I'm standing there.
Yeah.
The ShopRite chicken has not left my mind.
Yeah.
Just because they said they wanted me to cook this chicken, the ShopRite chicken just didn't go in the trash.
Yeah.
ShopRite chicken was over here. ShopRite chicken. You tired? Your arm hurt? Come on now. I was working out. My legs was in pain. I was like, but I don't want to walk around the whole store. And I don't want to.
Yeah.
But then I said to myself, Aisha, you asked them. Don't be that controlling person. You trying to get the victory. Right? It makes sense. You already know what to do.
Yeah.
You got to compromise.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get your way, like the night before, right? Where I picked and I choose and they agreed.
Yeah.
Last night I didn't get my way, but today I did. I was like, listen, can mommy just get y'all pizza? They was like, yes. Come on, I got my way today.
Yeah.
But last night, I took my behind the ShopRite. I saw the ShopRite chicken. I even went to look at it.
Yeah.
Baby, I said the control is strong. I even went to go look at it to see if they just had wings. Come on, they said tell the truth and shame the devil. So then I said, don't you do it, eh? Because you know your chicken going to be rocking. You even going to be happy.
Yeah.
And the kids are going to be happy. Don't you know, after we had that meal, you know, they was like, I don't know what came over them.
Yeah.
They laughed for about 2 hours straight. I don't even know what they was laughing at. But I thank God.
Yeah.
But see, control can end up anywhere in your life.
Yeah.
You want to be a person that compromise
Yeah.
in the middle. So, guys, we're going to close out. It's been an hour. Listen, I hope you enjoyed the podcast. I hope you got something out of it. And listen, please comment, ask questions. We're going to listen, catch the replay. I love what Brittany shared. We share so many perspectives, the way control could come around in a circle. I know sometimes like you're in relationships and you don't know what to do. Listen, if you're in a relationship that the person may be already getting their way all the time, then you want to take a stand. You don't know what to do? Then take a stand. Like, take a stand. See how this person reacts to you taking a stand. All right? Because you don't want to always do what a person want to do. All right? Now, if you're a person that you always taking a stand, you always want to get your way, then what do you want to do? You want to be a person that you let people other people make decisions for you, and you want to go in the flow of that direction. Why? Because you already been taking a stand all this time. You've been taking a stand all these years. You always taking a stand because you think you need to take a stand. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody didn't take a stand for you. Right? That's why you're doing that. You're doing that because in one place in your life, you may have been the weak person and went with the flow. On one place in your life, you was expecting somebody to take a stand for you. So you feel like you got to control every situation. Well, you don't have to. So you want to be a person, if you always taking a stand, you want to let things go now. Now you want to just go with the flow. Now you want to just let things go. Right? And then find your way in the middle.
Yeah.
Because you can't go from one extreme to the next. I mean, one extreme to a balance. You want to go from one extreme to being extreme in one area and then meeting it in the middle to say, okay, when do I take a stand? When don't I take a stand? Because right now you can't see that. So let's try to get to the goal. You know, control. I'm dealing with control like I told you guys the example with my children. You dealing with control as in, God, have your way with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, guys, I hope you enjoy the podcast. I love you guys. Please like and share. Also, please, if you want to join the podcast, hit me up in the inbox. If you got my personal number, just call me or text me. Don't be like that. I love you guys. I'm trying to expand the network. We really want to expand the network and have these parties, do things different this year. It's go season. And I want to date. Where the guys at? Like, where the guys at for my sis? Where the guys at for all the single women that's out here? You know, one of the things we want to do, we want to heal, but we also want to date now. All right, guys. I love you. All right. Have a good night.